Several calls for resignation from politicians in the community last week. Greenville County Sheriff Will Lewis can stay on the job and plans to do so. This comes after a lawsuit was filed on behalf of his former employee, Savannah Neighbors, for sexual abuse allegations. Well, now elected officials are looking at ways to make sure that counties aren't in this position in the future. Our Aaron Rogers is joining us live from the Greenville County Law Enforcement Center with a lot more on this effort. Aaron.
Well, Amy, the option to resign is solely up to the sheriff at this point, since he can only be removed if he's indicted. But lawmakers want there to be another option.
Did have a consensual encounter.
That admission by Greenville County Sheriff Will Lewis was enough to make some politicians start asking the sheriff to step down.
I think council did what was on its conscience to do.
If the sheriff did resign, the governor could appoint an interim while a special election was held. But council says they've been looking at options so they don't find themselves in this position again.
Horry County created a county police force, which was in addition to the sheriff. They didn't have the power to replace the sheriff, but they minimized the sheriff's budget and duties.
Council says they're not sure they'd do exactly that, but
we'll maybe consider a lot of suggestions.
Lieutenant Governor Kevin Bryant says that process could get tricky.
Given another government agency or official or body, another government body, ability to remove someone that the people elected, we need to be very, very careful.
He does think the state should look at having a recall process.
When the taxpayers lose confidence in their elected officials, I believe this is another way they can hold those accountable.
But he says recalls take time.
The people in Greenville shouldn't have to wait on a recall process. The sheriff should have resigned several days ago, just based on what we know, which is an abuse of power.
But for future missteps, it would just be finding the right way to do it.
If it's too easy, like I said, every losing campaign may want to do it. If it's too hard, then it wouldn't have any effect.
The sheriff's office says they will not be making any further comment while litigation is ongoing. Live in Greenville, I'm Aaron Rogers, 7 News.
All right, Aaron, so let's talk a little more about this recall process. What is the process? Who initiates it? How does it work?
Well, the lieutenant governor says the process could really be what lawmakers discuss. He says he would like to see how other states do it, but he does know in states like California, Wisconsin, where they've recently had recall elections, it started with voters, a certain percentage of voters starting and signing a petition, and then the election went from there. Amy?
All right, Aaron Rogers live. Thank you. Oscar